Hello and welcome to this Designing Music Now review of Amplesound's Ample Guitar TC2. This is a first look, sort of an overview video. Just wanted to give a quick demo of this incredible guitar simulation. I'm not a guitarist, so being able to have a guitar at my fingertips on the keyboard is a wonderful blessing. I have used Amplesound guitars for many years, and this is their latest and greatest. It comes with 3.78 gigabytes of 24-bit 44.1 kilohertz samples and tons of features like rich fingering noise, so there's all kinds of vivid and realistic sounds. It has lots of great articulations. It has some technology built in. This is not a contact library. It has something they call Capo Logic, which is an intelligent play according to guitar rules. It has a doubling guitar, which gives you different samples at left and right, so you can just play once and get the L and R effect. It has some customized parameter control, so any button and knob can be controlled by any MIDI CC. It has poly legato. It has a slide smoother, some combined articulations. Open string first is an alternative if you want. Really, really incredible stuff, including a tab player. So you can load and play any of the several prevalent guitar tablature file formats. And we're going to demo all this here for you real quick. Another great feature is the strummer, which we'll get into here in just 1 minute. Okay, the very first thing I wanted to show you is this amazing feature here. If you play this note here, it will basically play the tab player, which is right here. Now, we're synced to the host here. If I turn that off and do it again, then it'll play at the correct tempo. And one of the other cool things about this tab player is you can drag it and bring it right into your host, so you can have MIDI for all of that if you want. Another thing you can do here with the sequence button, you can actually take the current measure and put it into the strum pattern. And I'll show you the strums in just a minute. So that's the current measure. I'll just show you right now here. You take the sequencer, you can choose which measure you want, and then it will copy it into the strummer here. And the strummer is another great feature that if you play this, just hold down a note, it'll play that pattern. Now, by playing different notes, it'll play different strumming patterns for you. On top of that, you can change the chord. And you can do them both at the same time if you want. So if you play, let's start with the C chord, playing the basic pattern. Notice I'm changing all the patterns here. So you can do lots of really cool stuff on the fly with the strummer here. Plus you can set what chords you want. So if you don't want a C major to be in that first one, you can have a C minor, for example. So now it'll be C minor. Nice, huh? Chord position, you can do different positions. And you can set this for up to 24 different keys. So you can see there's the 24th key. And you have 8 different strumming patterns. Actually, the other great thing here, you can load strumming patterns from all of these that are preset in here. So let's try, I like the one I had here, the funk. So that's, did that load in? Let's see, yeah, well, let's try funk here. So that's pretty cool. Now we'll go to here and you can load a different one in. Let's try the pop. So that's 2 has the pop. That's 1. Here's the pop. And that chooses a different one. So really, really nice features. And by the way, I didn't show you all of the varieties here. Starting off with pop, you have different metal, rock, jazz. Let's try one of those guys. There it is. Here's another jazz. This is jazz waltz, jazz rock. So pretty nice. And the way this thing works actually over here is also great. These are the different, these are upstrokes, downstrokes. You can set in each of these, you can create them on the fly. So here are your different, basically strum patterns. You've got downstrokes, up, downstrokes, treble, so on. So they don't all work. But another great feature here, again, you can drag this right to the host, and you've got your MIDI file in your host for this particular pattern, and you can set up your AABA patterns or however you want to do that. So really great features. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off and just play the instrument by itself to show you how that sounds. And those are the sustains. So that's pretty cool. Now let me show you this is the palm mutes. So if I play that, you'll hear the different articulation. Now if you play them both, you can actually, it's velocity switch. So soft is a palm mute. Sorry, here's a sustain, and then a palm mute is like that. So now another thing you can do here are the harmonics, the natural harmonics. Really cool. Now here's a really great feature. Let's start with the sustains and go to the Legato Slides. And if you notice here, it's 2 notes. You start with the key switch is E0. And you can hear that's a slide up. Now if I do E0 again, I can do a slide down. So really nice. You can also do poly. So if I do this and then there's a slide up. So really great. And then you also have here the hammer on, pull and pull off, which works the same way as the Legato slide. Let's show a few other features. So first of all, in sustain, you actually have 2 different modes. You have one here called Accentuate Mode switch. So it has to do with the velocity. And here's the pop feature. When articulation is sustain mode is pop, the velocity of 127 will be a pop. So that's nice. Switch back to the normal one. This other thing here, which is really great, is a doubler, which would basically be like having 2 guitars play at the same time, and one in the left and one in the right, playing different samples. Notice I've got the standard mode on. If I go to keyboard mode, it's better for demoing on a keyboard. So the VU meters here changing on the doubler a little differently than if you do. You also have different pick types and randomizing the accentuation ratio. So lots of humanization factors, which I have turned up here. Here you can also set different levels for the FX sound and so on. Let me play a few of those cool sound effects here, or the effects. Here you've got this. There's one up here too. That's really nice. Something like that. Okay, so that's the main page. The strummer I've shown you briefly. And then you've got the tabs, which are also awesome. But now you get into some really cool stuff. There's a compressor. Strummer, let me turn that back off and go to the effects so we can hear those. Compressor, overdrive. So let's try the Overdrive with a strummer and select something in the metal variety. So there you go. That's some of the cool features there. We also have a 5-band EQ. You see I've already played with that a little bit. And you can actually set that to a MIDI controller if you want. Let's do learn. There we go. It's kind of cool to sweep the high end. Here's a chorus. Okay, getting a little crazy here, but maybe go back to the strummer and turn that guy off so we can hear these effects a little better, the phaser. Not bad. Here's a delay. All right, and the reverb. And now let's check out the wah. There's some really psychedelic stuff. Of course, you can set that to whatever parameter you want. You can learn it or set it directly. And then here are the settings. And notice you can, if you want to play with a MIDI guitar, you can turn that on so that each of the notes or each of the strings will play different MIDI channels. Oh, look at this. You can save presets as well right here in your library. So all that's really great. So the other thing I didn't show here is these various settings here. You've got the open string first. If you can turn that on or off. When it's on, turn some of those effects off. Okay. There we go. So now we're back to the main and check out the open string first. Turn that off. Slightly different. And then hold pedal. You can see when I'm holding my pedal that's on and off. Keyboard mode or solo mode. There's also the standard mode. So when the keyboard mode is on, you can play multiple notes can be played on the same string. When the solo mode is on, only a single note can be played. So both keyboard and solo modes will mute auto legato. Auto LS, that's kind of cool if it'll do some auto legato switches for you. Or you can turn that off. And the stroke noise, you can either have that on or off. I hope you enjoyed this review. I think you definitely want to check out this amazing new library from Amplesound, the Ample Guitar TC2. Thank you for listening to the Designing Music Now podcast, a podcast dedicated to the craft of creating music for video games and interactive media. Please visit us at designingmusicnow.com for more info, news, and reviews on this subject. We would love to hear from you.